Test, test. I think we're back. Yep, we are. Okay. I don't know what causes that. Some days it does happen. We apologize for that. We're back and rolling. As I mentioned a moment ago, if you couldn't read lips, which I cannot, never been able to have that talent. Right now, 74 as you're waking up. We're going to have a high today of 93, 102 on the heat index side. So it will be warm later on this afternoon as we begin all of this. Rain most likely will fall sometime after 2 o'clock, right when you're driving a lot. So 70% chance we don't want any wrecks happening with that. A lot has gone on in the last 24 hours. We'll go over all of that beginning at the top of the hour. Won't you join us for that? Hang around. We've got a lot of headlines that are shaping America this morning. We'll get into that next as we move along. Let's go to Collinsville now. We've got our first taste of the day with a good message from First Baptist.
In 3 John, there has been a concern over a guy named Diotrephes and how he was turning away messengers to the church and really acting as a dictator in that local church. So, as this guy named Demetrius is being sent, John wants to make sure that he's welcomed by Gaius, another guy in the church. This is what verses 13 and 14 say. I have many things to write to you, but I don't want to write to you with pen and ink. I hope to see you soon, and we will talk face to face. In short, because of some of the issues that were going on, there was more John wanted to say, but some of it, well, it just needed to be in person instead of through a letter. You know, there's wisdom for us here. There are certain times where we must be careful, not just in what we say, but how we say it and the method by which it's delivered. If there's something heavy and weighty to discuss, you know, sometimes a text isn't the best method. Even then, sometimes a phone call isn't enough. We need to talk face to face. Really what we need to do is just use wisdom and prayer in these situations. We never want to deliver something in a way that messes up the message itself. We must speak in a way that uplifts, encourages, and helps those who hear, but still stick to the truth, even if it's a hard and heavy truth. So I just want to challenge you in the way that you talk and the way that you carry on with others. You know, use wisdom. Above all else, glorify God in how you talk. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. Hope you enjoyed that. I told Odie I think this computer is alive sometimes. It just didn't want me to talk today, did it? Done his best to turn me off. We're back. Thank you all for letting us know on that. We got that fixed as quickly as we could. Again, right now, 74 as you're waking up, and we head for that high of 93. Another wet one in store for us. We had some incidents and accidents yesterday. Be careful. Wesley, good morning. Good to see you there. Miss Patricia, Mark, Miss Ann Hall is up today. Do anybody remember the Platters singing group? Y'all remember that? We've got one of the former members of this missing. Sandra Hall, she went missing Friday at 4 p.m. She's 80 years old. And they think she's wandering the streets of Brooklyn. She has not been found yet. Most likely has dementia, is what we're being told. We hope she's found. Again, former Platters. That's a tough one there. We go out to Los Angeles. I don't think I'm going to shock anybody with this. Where there's money, there's wrongdoing. And those that aren't good people, the truth finally comes out. L.A. City Councilman has been charged with corruption after embezzling $800,000. His name is Curran Price. Shame, shame, and double shame. $800,000 of taxpayers' money. That's what they know about. Imagine what you don't know about, what was done that they hadn't been able to prove. If there's one, there's more. We need a little bit more Shad Whites. Oh, wait a minute, we did. It was called Doge. Do y'all remember those days when we had that? My, oh my. We hope all this is brought to justice. This is breaks my heart. A former police dog who had retired was adopted by a family of the former police chief, got to take it home. The canine killed the police officer's 3-year-old daughter. They don't know why. An investigation is underway. What caused it? The dog's name was Draco. I'm speechless on that. I don't know what to say. Tom Homan is upsetting people. And you go, well, how can you upset people by telling the truth? Because they don't want to know the truth. His words were yesterday, and it was a breaking news story, just announced that D.C.'s illegal alien sanctuary status has been revoked. They are no longer a part of that little group that can do that. The left didn't like that at all. As we continue this, and this is the truth. I have seen it. I won't call what police department, but I have seen this happen before. To where it's been kickback of going, oh, we're at our lowest crime rates in 30 years. You've heard that. I'm talking about D.C. still. Well, it turns out when you get into this and you read deeper and deeper to this, it's been discrepancy. Last month, I think it was NBC affiliate confirmed that a police commander had been placed on admin leave in May after the D.C. Fraternal Order of Police accused officials of doctoring crime statistics. Change them. Here's another way that they also done this. They have no way of tracking all of them. You show up to a scene, it's a break-in. They've robbed the house, and they go, oh, it's vandalism. That's all it was. That happened in this area as well. Makes your numbers look better. Change it quickly before anybody knows. And no, D.C. is not in great shape as it's being handled. Did y'all see this? One of those protesters there threw a sandwich at an officer, a federal agent. Whoop, he's being charged with felony assault. That should have been going on many, many years ago. These guys, when they show up and their things are thrown at them, it needs to be handled. It'll make it stop. You charge enough, it will. Do you remember yesterday morning we talked about Dale Earnhardt and the land, the 400 acres, to where the town folks were getting all upset and going against the widower of Dale Earnhardt about opening up a data center there in North Carolina? The investor, it took so much it couldn't take it anymore. He's backing out. He goes, I don't want any part of this. Keep your land, we'll go somewhere else. Is that good or bad? I don't know. I don't know much about the community where Dale was from. She's now going to be minus a lot of money. It was $30 billion that was going to be dumped into that neighborhood. It's gone now. We don't know whether it's good or bad. Y'all make the decision. Lots we don't know. I watched this. Carjackers. First, they stole a F-250. This was Los Angeles, California. They stole a F-250, drove it as long as they could, jumped out, stole an 18-wheeler, went a while longer, stole another truck, police in pursuit. They would get to a bridge and bail out. They're still on the run. They got away. Stole 3 cars and escaped. How do you do that? Jeez. It happened, though. Los Angeles, California. You think they got higher speeds than they did with the OJ thing?
I hope so.
We may have solved the problem. Speed up.
Bronco was doing all he could do.
21 miles an hour. Yeah. They got a little bit faster than that, but have mercy, have mercy. The 18-wheeler was going the wrong direction on the highways. Often we run up on something, and this is so true. I go for a quote from, we'll call it the quote of the day from the Donald today. He's the one that I ran upon. And listen to these words. It makes a whole lot of sense. Donald Trump said this. My father always used to tell me, son, when you walk into a restaurant and you see a dirty front door, don't go in. Because if the front door is dirty, then the kitchen is also dirty. Makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? If you can't clean your front door, the whole house is dirty. And what he's referring to is D.C. is what he was twisting there and letting everyone know. But that's so true. You ever walked into a restaurant and you go, whoa, I don't know about this. If you ever have that feeling, turn around and go. Odds are it's not going to be pretty. And I don't mean this in the wrong way, but I think somebody needs to say it out loud. You ever found that when people do wrong, they try to find Jesus immediately? I mean, like instantly. Oh, I couldn't have done that. Jesus is helping me here. Well, you still have to pay for what you've done. Remember the guy that done the, and I didn't know these details in the beginning there, the target shooting. Killed 3 people. You know how they found this guy? In a bathroom, buck naked, holding a Bible. It was a little late to turn to Jesus after what he'd done.
Yeah.
In Texas, I think they're going to probably arrange a meeting with him and Jesus to discuss this. I would say that's coming. Do you remember, and we talked about this, let me see what you say, Florida. And a lot of you will go, oh, wait a minute, this sounds familiar. An officer pulls someone over, and the guy, he's sitting there with his door open, and they said, we need to see your driver's license. No, I ain't showing it to you. Slams the door. They tap on the window. Let me see your driver's license. He just sat there, videoed the whole thing, sat there and stared straight, wouldn't pay attention to the cops. Well, they removed the window. During the removal of the window, he got smacked upside he got plopped like that. He wanted to sue him. They're not going to charge the police officer with a single thing. They said that he acted under his authority. He had every right. Once he refused, after he was demanded, told his rights, what he had to do, and commanded. I think he gave him 3 chances.
You gotta give him 3.
And he gave him 3 chances. He didn't. They removed him, pulled him straight out the window there. And he's upset. All you had to do was show your driver's license. Well, his problem was he didn't have any, I don't think. He could have showed his out-of-date ones.
I would have if I could.
But he refused to comply. And all you got to do is go, sir, I don't have them. He wouldn't have been drug out of a car. He'd just been promptly probably taken downtown with a minor charge. But nope, escalated into something that it shouldn't have. That happens a lot there. Louisville, Kentucky, we're still trying to figure out why they call it Louisville and not Louisville. That's one of those things that we may never know. This is sad. A young woman was walking her child to school to the bus stop. Shots rang out. The mother is okay. The child is not. The child lost its life during that. Louisville, Kentucky. They need prayer. How do you answer that? How can you explain that to someone? I couldn't. Tennessee, we've got 3 people that are killed during historic rain and flash flooding. That was right around Chattanooga where all that happened. We see this stuff every day. Be careful in your travels when heavy rain breaks out. Trees can fall and hit you. And even if you're in your home, be careful with all that. All right. I've never watched any of this stuff. The Kennedy Center stuff is usually not of my... I'm trying to be politically correct here. They usually do things that doesn't spark my interest. I won't say that it's over my head. It's just what I usually just don't care. And I don't mean that ugly. They are announcing the nominees to be inducted into the Kennedy Center. I know a few of these. Thought I'd give you the names of this. This year, George Strait. Michael Crawford, he's an English performer. Sylvester Stallone is going to be inducted. A disco singer named Gloria Gaynor, and Kiss. Y'all remember them, don't you? All that hair and makeup, they're also all going in. So congratulations to each one of those. An appeals court has made a ruling. Y'all remember when the Trump administration cut billions from that group called USAID? It may have been pronounced a different way, but that's the way I associated it in my brain, USAID. Blue US, and then the aid was written in, well, they had a lower court try to block them from stopping the funding. An appeals court said you can do what you got to. They move forward now. Texas yesterday, a bus rollover. 10 people were injured, no deaths, but 10 children were injured as the bus rolled over. It's just a big blob of metal. Thank goodness those kids are okay. I've never been on and I'll jokingly call it an aeroplane ride when someone got unruly. There's always somebody in a crowd that you can't please no matter what you do. There was a guy that, well, he had had a little bit too much to drink. He got unruly. So the crew, I guess it's zip ties that they put on you.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the movies to where the guy goes, he broke them twice. You got to be a pretty big old boy.
Yeah, them some thick ones.
They landed. He was taken into custody without fail. Somebody could have got hurt. But you got to be pretty stout there to break zip ties. You ever got out of zip ties, Odie?
No.
No, I can't say that I have either. Not that I've ever had any on, but
I ain't never had none.
coming up Friday, we'll try it on Julie and see if she can get out.
She gonna be here?
She's going to be here this week, she says. Harvey Weinstein, believe this or not, how many millions have we wasted on this guy? He's going to be tried for a third time after that mistrial on those rape charges. He's going back to court. He wants out mighty bad. It doesn't look as though he will. Some of it didn't work out, but there's enough evidence there. We'll see what becomes of it. I know very little about it when it comes to basketball and things, but the Portland Trailblazers, they have been sold for $4 billion. Maybe basketball is worth more than I realize. $4 billion. On the other side of sports, we look to the Minnesota Twins, baseball. They are not for sale anymore. The owners are backing out saying, well, we may take on a partner, but we're not selling now. Sound like they spoke to their financial advisor and they advised them not to do that, doesn't it? I didn't realize this, and I just don't. And being completely honest with everyone, and I have to be, once that first knee went down when the national anthem was being sung by the NFL, I have not watched it. I don't care to. I suspect they still do it. I don't know. I'm not going back to find out. I have that old saying, once you do me and it'd be my fault after that. They will do it again if they were given the chance, regardless, and they may still be doing it. But Jerry Jones, I do know who he is, the owner of the Dallas Cowboys. Did y'all realize that he had cancer?
No.
He released a statement that says after dealing with stage 4, he's been taking some, what do you call the medicine when they're trial testing medicine? Experimental. He's okay. So the test came back good. Let's hope that that is spread to other people and they can use this. I think often all of us, can I prove what I'm fixing to say? Nope. I'm going to call it speculation. I think we've all speculated at one point in time that there probably is a cure for cancer, but people like drug manufacturers don't want that out. It's like finding an answer to gasoline. Do you think those oil companies want you to find something that's cheaper? No. And I know that sounds harsh. Can I prove any of that? No. The money tells me, the money trail tells me that there's probably a little bit of that going on. We do hope that one day that it is released and that people's lives can be saved from this awful disease. It's no longer one of those diseases that you hear about. You got to be 70, 80, 90 to get it. There's 20, there's 30-year-olds getting this every single day and passing away from a thing called cancer. Let's see what else we've got this morning. Search is underway for a guy in the Rocky Mountain National Park. He was given a ride. He got out and they hadn't seen him since. Let's hope he's okay. Not much more details other than that. Brinks, they deliver money and things like that. That truck, you've seen them. They drive up and it's like one guy in the front seat that never gets out and then two people go into the bank or if it's a place to pick up cash. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, it got robbed. There was a movie about that, and I can't remember. It was an Inside Job. Makes you wonder if that could have a tie to that. Everything is timed on those trucks of how long they're somewhere, how long they can be there. The exact route probably changes daily so that people won't catch on to it. How do y'all feel about this? It's coming whether we like it or not. Maybe you like it. I don't know enough about it. Again, it goes into a sport that I don't watch. This UFC thing. It is coming to the White House lawn. It's almost like Andrew Jackson's back at the White House, the people's president, and he's bringing it. It's going to be there, the White House lawn. Ivana is helping put this together with Dana White. We should start getting some answers of what's going to happen next month. We go to Japan on this one. I just found it and I thought I'd bring it up. There's people that don't think everywhere. McDonald's did a big promotion in Japan with Pokemon. And I think it came with the Happy Meal. You get the prize. The problem is they didn't want the food. They were buying the food and then throwing the hamburgers and packages on the ground. It got so bad that McDonald's quit selling it. My, oh my.
That's tough.
I mean, garbage cans, use them. If you don't want it, give the food to someone who needs it. There's a lot of people in this world that need food. We hear about it. much more than buggies.
Yeah. Imagine that.
We'll be right back because we'll get into your forecast next this morning. Stay with us. We'll find out how wet it's going to be today. We'll do that next.
Are home problems turning your life upside down? Trust Heblon Heating and Air Conditioning to save the day. We can keep you comfortable with special savings for your home, like up to $3,000 off new HVAC, $69. Keep the power on with a generator. Get $200 off installs and 0% financing for 60 months. We do it all at Heblon Heating and Air Conditioning and offer financing options for any repair or installation. Call for a free quote or visit us online at HeblonHeatingandCooling.com.
Collinsville, Mr. Discount Drugs, your local pharmacy and gift shop, thanks you for your continued support. Whether you shop with us in-store, through our app, over the phone, or in our drive-thru, our team will provide the best personalized customer service experience you expect from your local pharmacy. When you call or message us, you are promptly greeted by the Mr. Discount team that's ready to help. When you choose our pharmacy, you're choosing a locally owned pharmacy that cares about you and your community. Collinsville, Mr. Discount Drugs makes a difference.
And welcome back. I thought we would go to radar first this morning because I didn't realize just how thick the fog had gotten in Alabama. Let's pull this up where you can see this. As we'll see this western side of Mississippi, that's heat. But look at this. Starting in York, Alabama, we've got a dense fog advisory, and this goes all the way over to Auburn. Thick fog there. But look at this as we go north of Tuscaloosa, Alabama, even Corinth, Mississippi. These areas here around Amory, it is thick, and thicker over to Winfield. Hamilton, Alabama. Cullman, Alabama has got it. Reform, Gordo, a lot of you go through those areas. It's going to be thick through there. Now, again, this gray area is an advisory all the way through York, Demopolis. We've got all of this just east of Butler. And again, it could be some fog in these areas. It's thicker than radar is picking up at this point. So be careful where you are and where you're traveling there in Bama. And if you're along these counties that join the Bama line from Corinth due south to Macon, be careful. It could be a little bit of fog again that we just can't see at this moment. What we think about that. All right, let's get further into our forecast this morning and find out just how the weather is going to be. Let's do that. Here we go. There we are. Back in 2007, here's what we had. Record highs were at 104. 2007. Look at that. Back in 2004, it was a cool 53 degrees in our area. Not bad. Again, today's high should reach 93. The heat index, though, will be bad. 102 is what we're banking on there. Jackson hadn't sent us that forecast yet. We're waiting. Bama is on it. 92 expected in Demopolis. We should see that in Tuscaloosa. Cooler in Birmingham at 90 over in Auburn, Alabama. Looks like to be 89 there as we come across. The heat stress through Sunday should be about 105 anywhere east of Jackson. South of Laurel should be 110 or greater, and west of Jackson and northward through the Mississippi Delta. We're looking at that 110 in those areas there. That's hot. As we see here, warmer in Mississippi as this moved up almost all the way to Tupelo. Here's our 7-day forecast this morning. 93 today and tomorrow as we'll end the week with a 70% chance of rain today, down to a 60% chance tomorrow. That's still a good percentage point. By Saturday, we're down to 40, and Sunday, it looks like it'll be okay. You should be able to make it inside the church store without that umbrella. Watch me have to eat my words. Every time you go out on that limb and say, Mother Nature's going to do this. But we're down to a 20% chance on Sunday. But the highs bump up to 94 by Tuesday. We're at 95 with minor chances each afternoon there. 20 to 30%, nothing major there. Let's go all the way through the 28th to the end of the month there. We've got scattered showers that can range anywhere from 20 to 30% still. 93 clocking to be the most through the 28th. Nighttime lows will hit somewhere right around 71. Not bad at all. Here's what we've got with the wind today as you head out to your favorite fishing hole. Brought to you by Clarkdale Superette. Looks like we'll have a calm wind becoming west around 5 miles an hour by the afternoon. Your major time to fish today will be at 4:30 this afternoon until 6:30, right before dark there. A minor time this morning at 10:30 if you want to get a line, you get a pole. Head out 10:30 to about 11:30. Now sunrise already at 6:18. Sunset will roll in somewhere around 7:40 this morning. Again, we remind you about the fog to our east, heat stress that will be rolling in our areas today. Again, we should see anywhere up to 105 in these areas. The Meridian area expected to be right at 102. It's going to be sticky and hot. Joe, good morning there. Kim is up joining us. So glad to see you there. Miss Shirley joining us from Beatline. We got coffee brewing. We're going to have it all ready in about, what is it? Oh, we're about 3 minutes now before the top of the hour. We'll be right back as we're going to kick into the morning show. Join us, won't you? That's all coming up here at the Scotty Ray Report, kicking off at the top of the hour.